and welcome to Married Meeples. Brad, what are we doing here today?
Alright, so, as you may have seen, I went to Origins. They released a bunch of games at Origins. I brought home some games from Origins. We showed you all the games from Origins.
We've played a lot of games from Origins.
We have played the majority of them.
Yeah.
So, we decided we were going to look at those that we have played, which was roughly 18 of the 20 of them.
Yeah.
And we were going to rank our top 9, because 9 makes a nice grid. I wanted to do 7, but apparently 7 isn't grid worthy. So we're going to do 9. So, I still have some of my hollow margarita. If you watched the previous couple of Origins videos, you'll know this came from Columbus. And you have...
I have...
Sucker for Pain.
Yes. It's a variation of a painkiller. But it's really good.
And that came from a local brewery called Microphone Brewing.
Yes.
So give them a shout out because that is a really good drink.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, with all that being said, we are going to get started right here in a moment with our number 9. Alright, so I will go first. Age before beauty. Is that how that works? Or is it the old person supposed to go first? I don't know. But age, I'm younger, so I'm going to go first. And my number 9 is Astra from Mind Clash Games. This could be seen as an abstract strategy game. And I looked it up. They call it an abstract strategy game. Because it's not really a flip and right because you aren't flipping anything over. But you have these constellation cards on the table. You're taking your colored marker. You're spending Stardust to fill in the stars. Whoever finishes the constellation gets the card. It's got a benefit on it. As long as someone else has things on there, they get a boon. And it's all about managing your resources. It's weird, though, because it didn't have any of the chaining you normally get with the fill in the cards. But I think some of the powers were nice. The components were really cool. The colors popped on the cards.
I really like the constellations.
Yeah.
It was really nice to see those.
It's a little bit of a puzzle. I think that's what I like. It's almost like those games when you were a kid. All right, how many do I fill so I can trap the other person into taking so many, let me finish it up. Or have them finish it up because I'd rather get the boon power. I think that's what I liked about it. Is that little thinky tug of war, almost slightly push your luck. Not entirely because you're trying to see like how many dots can I get on here and not take it. But that was my number 9. What is your number 9?
My number 9 is Jonah Arc.
A Orleans Drawing Right is a full title, but we just call it Jonah Arc.
Yeah. I like that one because it was all the different actions going. If you filled in this, you got the coins. If you filled in this section, then you got knowledge, and then you could take all those books and you could fill in something else over here, and you could. There was a lot of filling in all over the place. So, but
that was yours?
That was mine.
All right. Now on to number 8. All right. 8. I went with Town Builder Koiverdin. This is actually an older game that we picked up there. So it wasn't a new release at Origins. It's from like 2019. But the company was there and I bought it, so it's an Origins game to me. You use multi-use cards. You draft them from the middle to become a foundation, which means they're turned sideways. You then draft other cards from the middle to use as resources to build them. And some of them give you powers, some of them give you end this game scoring, or some of them you put as gold under your bank to use to build those foundations. It had interesting mechanics. We kind of like multi-use cards, so I kind of like that aspect of it. And it's one of those ones where you had to decide how many do I want to grab as foundations, because if you don't get them done by the end of the game, they don't count as points. So you got to kind of work your way into how many do you think you can actually accomplish, or do you go for one, finish it, then go for another and finish it, or do you have this big tableau in front of you have to fill? So again, kind of the pseudo push your luck in how many are you going to take. You might not be able to fill them all because maybe the resource doesn't come up. And that whole puzzly thing of trying to finish them at certain times because you get certain powers, But some of the powers you only use one of a turn, even though you have like 3 buildings that have powers. So
I liked it because it reminded me of Oh My Goods. And I really like that game. I am as I've said on other videos, I'm a big card person. I love playing card games. So it was fun, like you said, to be able to draw the cards to try and get the foundations built. So
that was my number 8.
My number 8 was Footsteps of Darwin. In the Footsteps of Darwin.
Yeah.
Sorry.
We just always drop those first couple.
Usually we'll just call it Darwin.
Yeah, because there's so many words.
Yeah,
such a long title for such a short game.
But yeah, that was mine. I liked the tile.
The art with the animals. It was really well done art, and they made all the animals look like cute, and they were drawn well. They weren't crazy, and the youth liked the art too. I let them punch the game because they want to see all the animals. So, all right, well that was our 8s. So now we get back to when I want the list to start, and that's at number 7. So we're back with number 7, or as I like to call it, the main list. Mm-hmm. My number 7 is the bride's personal favorite. You'll see when we played it on the channel. It is FICA. This is one that we were looking forward to. It's a small little 2-player card game. You're competing cafe owners. You're playing cards to the center to they have different scoring abilities, but also have different abilities when you play them to kind of maneuver the cards around and try and get them in certain spots to score for those cards. I enjoy, again, it's that puzzly aspect. I can play this card here and move this card over there, and then I got to make sure I get the other card, so it's kind of making sure everything's lined up in a row. But it also messes with your head because you don't necessarily want to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You don't need to have them in order. You can go 1, 1, 2, 4, 5. You might not score well, but they don't have to be. You can put a 5 before the 2. You can go backwards. Like it kind of gets in your head that way a little bit. And then the cards have some decent iconography, but just kind of remember exactly what powers do what and how they go. Can be a little confusing to some people. But no, I enjoyed it because it's that little tug of war game again where you're building up your line. Not even a tug of war because you're building up your line just trying to get the most points.
Yeah. I mean, I liked the artwork. It was nice. And it was really interesting looking. I just, for some reason, I could not.
Just doesn't click with
you. It doesn't. The powers don't click. This should go here, and do this, but it doesn't, and it doesn't work for me.
And even though there's only 6 scoring things, trying to manage 6 scoring, it's not like, well, I'll focus on this one. You got to try and focus and manage like 3, 4, 5 of them because you'll have 5 cards out. So it's kind of that whole. It does a lot more playing ahead, and you don't plan ahead. No.
Most of my games are. I just go with it, have no plan, no clue, just, hey, that kind of looks pretty. I know that sounds bad, but...
Speaking of which, what is your number 7?
So my number 7 was Miller Zoo. What I really liked about it was the animals. I liked the fact, you're trying to collect the animals.
You're welcoming them to their habitat.
Yes.
That's what it is.
Yeah, so you're trying to get them into their habitats, and they all have certain special needs that they have that you may have to fulfill to get them into said habitats.
Like grooming, giving them water, giving them food.
First aid, things like that.
So yeah, it's a really good family entry-level cooperative game where it doesn't overly punish you, at least at the beginning. There are different missions you do as you go throughout the game. But like she said, you're welcoming the animals in, you're taking care of their needs, and everyone can play at the same time. Like you start out, you see what the crises are, and then everyone can just go. There is no I'll wait now while you do your stuff. Everyone can kind of talk and go about and do their stuff, and then be good to go. So it kind of plays quick like that too.
And I'll take care of this over here, you take care of those issues over there. The only drawback that I kind of had with it was that could get a little bit competitive with the 2 players.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we only played with the 2 of us.
I think my one issue with it was I think you get, 3 cards, and you have to use one to move.
Yeah.
You get a very small hand, and you have to always use one to move, so that really kind of limits what you can do. So,
right.
But yeah, so that is our number 7s.
So onward to number 6.
All right, 6. 6 is already mentioned. Jonah Arc, Orleans, draw and write. So she said what she liked. I like that too. The whole chaining of the actions, because as you're pulling out, or you pull out these workers from the bag, and then you choose one of them, and they dictate what you can do. But the other thing I like is one of the tokens' ability is you can buy special abilities that either will boost what you normally can do with them or give you a special ability. So you could possibly do some kind of engine building aspect to it of this person's now going to do these 3 things for me as opposed to that one person. That, and there's 4 different paths to victory. You kind of have to try and maybe balance both of them, but you could go really heavy into one and try and do that. You can try and race ahead and beat people to get all these little shield things that only you're the first person to get it. So you could try and race ahead. So there's different aspects that you can do. So I think that's why I like the special powers, and I love chaining actions. I think you had one turn where you did 8 things in a row. She went here, which did this, which opened that row and did this row and that column, and she just kept going. I'm just like, did I go yet? And then on my turn, I'm like, I feeling this good. Your turn. So
I get a coin.
Well, yeah, so that's what I like about Jonah Arc.
So my number 6, once again, has already been mentioned. You'll notice that a lot of our list kind of meshes because, well, we only brought back so many games. So, but my number 6 was Town Builder.
Quite better, dude.
Thank you.
I still don't know. That's what I'm going with. It's Coevorden. Coevorden.
So we're going to go with that.
Coevorden. Coevorden.
So, yeah, it's Town Builder. I enjoy the cards. I enjoy the collecting of the cards to build the foundations, to build the buildings.
And that's the thing, too, is it's quick. We didn't really mention.
Yeah.
You pick 2 cards your turn. There's no hand that you're going through. It's literally you're sitting here staring at the pile. I want that card. And I want that card. Done. Go.
Yeah. So it was a very quick game.
All right. So that was what number?
Number 6.
All right. So what's next?
6. Next is number
5 golden rings.
5. Number 5. We're on number 5.
Boop. Which is my number 5 game is Boop. This got released a little earlier in the year, but it's so like hot takes. I'm pretty sure it actually won the Origins game.
Boop boop be-doo.
This one you are playing as cat or kit. You start as kittens. You can graduate into cats. You're hopping around on the bed, bopping or booping your opponents around the board. You need to get 3 kittens in a row to graduate them to cats. You gotta get 3 cats in a row to win. It is abstract strategy with a cool theme, some cool component. Like there's not many components, but the box flips over is the bed. They have these little soft pillowy things that you're actually moving the cats around on. The cat miniatures are nice and big and chunky. So components are awesome. And I kind of just like the booping, like trying to look ahead and it's again, as you can tell by her face, not a fan of the game, but
it wasn't that I wasn't a fan at the game.
You're not a fan at the game.
Of the game, I should say. Yes, there were certain times that it's going to sound like I can't comprehend rules. That's not true. It's just I have some issues at times with remembering what rules and which ones go with what.
I think the booping was what got you. Because it's trying to remember, well, is it all the ways? And then kittens can't boop cats, so they're not looking at. But it's kind of that whole thing we were talking about earlier is you aren't good at playing ahead. And boop, you have to plan ahead because you can't just be like, I put 3 in a row. Because you put the one down, you put the other one down. Well, now that one boops one away, so now you have a spot. Oh, I'll just put one there. No, now you're booping them around. So Boop does require more plan ahead because you got to try and think of where they're going to get knocked into and kind of line it up that way. So that's why it didn't resonate with you. But I will get the youth to play it soon.
I mean, I thought it was cute. I liked the little wooden meeple kittens.
Catapults.
Cat?
I'm going to call them catapults.
Catapults?
Or catapults. Anyway.
Well, considering that you're allergic to them.
Yeah, get them away from me.
But the bedding, it was the fabric. It was the squishy, or
It made you
fluffy.
think you were booping because
you were actually like you were on a bed. So the components, yeah.
And the components again, like I said, it's just every game doesn't click with every person.
Nope.
You're not a fan of abstract strategy. That's when you're like, get it. I'm like, all right.
See, my thing is, I've noticed with games, I go more for theme.
It's got cats. We need to get it.
It's a cute.
Like,
it was cute.
Cool. Let's go.
It sounded cute, and then I played, and it wasn't cute in my head.
All right.
But it's a good game.
You've done enough on boop. What is your 5?
So my number 5, it's Astra.
Zeneca is right for you.
Okay. Once again, I really enjoyed the constellations. Constellations. Yeah, you try saying that.
Constellations.
Consolations.
Consolidations.
Constellations. Yeah. So I really like the constellations.
images.
I really like the constellations. I liked being able to, kind of in a roundabout way draw the constellations by filling in the circles. It was just a really neat looking game. And I enjoyed playing it.
Cool.
So, yeah.
Now we're up to 4.
You realize that's 3.
No, it's a V.
2, 3.
Roman numeral 4. I don't know how it is for them. One of these 2 is 4, the other 6.
Isn't it the one that goes in front of the...
Yeah, but I don't know how that is on them. Like, what does that look like? All right, yeah, so I think...
looks funny.
It's something.
Nobody here.
We're going to 4.
Number 4.
So I am following in someone's footsteps. Hers and Darwin. For number 4, have in the footsteps of Darwin. So, she mentioned it. The tiles are really cool. I like what really can mention is there's the theories and the publications, and the theories are end of game scoring, so you got to try and maneuver the animals you put on your board a certain way. And then if you stack them, then you get another theory. If you get 4 of the same content or 4 of the same type, you get a publication. So it's kind of managing, well, which ones am I going to grab to put where? And you only grab so many. There's, I'm trying to remember, 69 or something like that tiles.
67?
But I think you only grab 12 per player. So there's a bunch that aren't in there. So if you have to try and get like all of the red ones, there may not be that many red ones in there. So then come your turn, you may have to adjust and you can't get it. Well, then you can spend these people, but if you're out of them. So it's sometimes you're forced to take stuff you don't want. And there's that mid-game pivot you need to do. But I know that's one of the things that the bride, even though it is her number 8, wasn't a big fan of, is we kind of wanted more tiles. You have a 16 grid, because it's a 4x4 grid, and you get 12 tiles in the entire game. So we kind of wanted to go a little longer, fill in the board, or get a little more. I mean, if you're covering up stuff, then you have a lot more empty spaces. So we wanted a longer game. Was what our big issue with it was, but the game that was there, I really enjoyed. So much so, that is number 4 to you.
My number 4 was a game that we're not exactly sure how to pronounce. I believe it is Rauha.
I go Rauha.
I don't know. I tried putting it into Google and Google Pronounce, and that's how it came up, was Rauha.
Rauha.
Like I said, Rauha. We've done a playthrough of it. Did you do
Unboxing?
boxing?
I've unboxed everything.
We've done an unboxing.
I've unboxed like 80% of our lists, so you can easily find those. I will link them down below along with the playthrough, so you can, if anything sounds cool.
Yep, you can watch us play. I liked the collecting of the cards to fill out your world. Your
shamans have been tasked with rebirthing the world.
Yeah, but you're trying to grow and make this planet beautiful. So you get to switch things out. You've got items that you can get.
So yeah, I know when we did the playthrough, it's cool because when you're grabbing the cards, you can chain it to do more actions. Because not only do you grab the card, but you activate your shaman, which activates the rose, and you're trying to grab certain cards to bring over I think they're the god, the deity power or something, and then they give you extra stuff, and then you can put out spores and
yeah. But yeah, Rauha, number 4, got playthrough, unboxing. Check it out.
3 times.
So our number 3, we're almost there. We're almost there.
We're in the top third.
We are.
My 3. We're getting pretty broken record with this. We did a playthrough on the channel. Well, I mean, we enjoyed these games from Origins. We wanted to make sure you enjoyed watching us enjoy these games.
Yes.
Sounds a little weird. Anyways, Gap. Gap is another one that actually showed up like on the list right before Origins. There wasn't much hullabaloo or fanfare. It wasn't until like I was looking at it, like, hey, look. So this is a new game from Arcane Wonders. It is a itty bitty card game. I think it's what 1 through 9 in like 6 or 7 colors.
0 through 9.
Oh, sorry, 0 through 9 in like 6 different colors. But if you play a 2-player game, you only use 3 of them. You play a card from your hand down. You might take cards from the middle based on what's out there and what card you played. You're trying to get the most of one color and the least of another without getting 0 of that color, because then the other color takes over. Or score big by getting equal amounts of all colors. It plays super quick. We've done hands in like 5 minutes, if that. We have talked about, we mentioned in the video, that we're planning on just keeping a running score. They typically say play to 15 or 25 or 50. We're just going to play whenever we feel like it, throw it in a spreadsheet, and just keep track of whenever. Just see who wins at life. That's the grand scheme of things. You want to win at life. Well, not the board game of life. Gap in general.
You want to have fun in life.
And Gap is fun. So see? It all works out, and it's fun when you win.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yes, that does.
Roundabout circle. But yeah, Gap, like I said, we did a playthrough. It's got nice feeling cards. It's got like cool, shiny.
The mid-dilly.
But yeah, Gappers.
All right. Yeah.
What's your number 3?
My number 3 is Gap. We actually have the same one.
Sweet.
I know, right? Yeah, it pretty much card game. Love it. And it's not a very big card game either. So, I mean, that is something you can take when you're out.
We keep making the comparison, not that it plays the same, but it's kind of like Rummy. You can just grab a deck of cards and play Rummy anywhere. You can grab Gap and bring it with you and play it anywhere. And I think it's even a smaller footprint, because Rummy, you can eventually get like all the sets and all that going. But no, Gap, you have like 3 little columns in front of you and just 4 in the center typically. So yeah, so Gap is 3s.
3.
No, now we're on 2. 2. Hey, number 2.
And number 2.
2.
For our number 2.
She's starting.
Yeah, I was saying. Sorry, number 2 is Toucan.
She was saying R because we both have it as our number 2.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
She let the bird out of the sack.
I did. I'm sorry.
But anyways, Toucan, would you like to explain it?
Toucan, once again, card game.
Played on the channel.
Yes, played on the channel. Basically, you have cards that are face down, and you're flipping them to get the lowest number. and you have the possibility of actually getting negative numbers as long as you have cards that match
above each other.
Yes, above and below.
And if you have a bunch of cards the same, you start getting negative points. Like if you have 4 2s, it's -5. If you have 6 2s, -10, -50. So you can just keep getting all these negative points. It's pretty much a household favorite. The youth, I mean, they decided to join us for the playthrough, much to their dismay. But yeah, no, it's an Amigo game, and Amigo games are they have this line where it's 5 simple rules. I slightly protest that because it's like, rule 1, play card. Rule 2, do this. Rule 3, here's 17
steps.
Yeah, it's like, what? No, that's cheating. But anyways, no, it is. It is actually a pretty quick and simple game. We just sit there and we can talk over it. Like, it's not one that you really have to like sit there and analyze. You can just, I don't want to say brainless game, but it's one that you aren't doing the full thinking power. And you turn, you look, cool, and then go. And it's a partyish game because I think you play up to 6. So like, I could see breaking this out with like just a family gathering, and everyone's just sitting there doing that.
And it plays over 5 rounds, and those rounds are relatively quick. You only have 8 cards in front of you. It all depends on how quickly you flip the cards and you match up the cards. If your cards are low enough and you think you got it, you can flip over that last card and kind of stick it to your neighbors. If they've got high cards that they weren't able to get rid of.
It lends a slight element of take that if you can get there. I mean, it's not like it's a full take that. Like, you can't give someone high cards, but you could definitely try to rush it to stick it with them. So that was our number 2, which was Toucan. Toucan picked this game as their number 2.
Yeah. And Toucan did.
So, coming up next, the grand finale. Number 4. No. 1.
1! Ha, 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 ha.
Hey, number 2.
Hey, number 1! So, my number 1 favorite Origins
2023
game is Paraphrase.
From Flatworks Gaming.
I guess it's a party game?
Yeah,
it's a party game. And the reason that I love it so much is because I am like this song
savant.
I don't know so much about song savant.
Know it all.
I just know a lot of songs. But it is a game where you have the different decades. It's what, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s,
2000s, I think.
2000s, I think. Do they have 2010s?
Yeah, they have a ton of decades.
Yeah.
And there's 2 volumes.
Yeah, so we got volume 2.
Because I'm crazy.
Yeah. But you take the card, shows you the title of the song, but it is worded differently, using different words, using...
Like, very attractive female.
Yeah. My girl? No.
Pretty Woman.
Pretty Woman, that's right.
There was something else on the card, but that's kind of the basics, is that they're taking it, but then paraphrasing it. They're breaking it out to different words.
Yeah. So you have to figure out what song it is by these clues. And if you sing it, you get extra points for singing, actually. I have been accused of knowing every single song that comes on the radio and singing it.
So yeah, this is one of those games that it's on our list. We haven't officially played it for points. We just sat around and quizzed each other. We grabbed a deck of cards and set it and see who could answer it first. Because, like she was saying with the points, so you start with the top clue. Someone basically picks a deck and you pick the card, and they can get 3 points if they guess it off the first one. If they can tell you who sings it, you get an extra point. If they actually sing, you get an extra point. So you can get up to 5 points. If they can't get it off the first clue, they can get the next clue, and it goes down to 2 points. If they still can't get it, it goes down to 1 point, and then you tell them the artist. So then they can then get, if they still get the song, and then they sing it, then they get 2. Who's going to keep score? Honestly, we just enjoy the whole, let's read this and see if people can guess them. It's honestly what we do with it. But it's still, there's a game there. So, but yeah, so it is one of those fun games if you have those people who know songs from everywhere. So
that is my number one.
My number one has been mentioned as your number 4, which was Rauha. A lot of the same reasons why she likes it, I like it. It's a drafting game, which if we look, I think there's a lot of drafting games. We really like drafting games. But you get to draft the cards, you put them out, and there is that engine building mechanic of it. I want to make sure I put this card here, because once I get the crystals from this, it allows me to activate this, which lets me put this here. I can't remember if you mentioned spores on yours, but when you put spores out, then what happens is every scoring round, and there's 4 of them in the game, you get to activate all of your spores. So if you get all of your tiles with spores on it, you get to activate all 9 of your tiles 4 times throughout the game. Granted, you're probably not going to get 9 spores by the first scoring, but you can build up your spores. You can get the cards that put out the spores. You get a card that gives you points for spores. Well, if you get that out early, you're just going to be racking up those points every scoring one. Of course, you'd have to put a spore on the scoring spore tile to activate it. But I digress. That's what I really like, is it's with the drafting, you're laying out your cards, you're choosing where you want to put them, because sometimes you might get a card and you want to put it here because that gets you the row to match up to get the deity power. But deity. I like saying deity. But it might not activate for like 2 or 3 more turns, but you really want to activate that. So do you choose, or how do you choose where you put it? Me, I put it where it gets me the deity, and then I'll just throw a spore on it. And guess what? I get to activate whenever I want. Mm-hmm. That's what I do. I spore it up. All about the spores.
Yes, you do.
All about the spores, baby. Anyways, that was our top 9 from Origins 2023.
So, hope that you enjoyed it. Hope there were some games on here that you may never have heard of.
Be on the fence about.
Maybe this helped you kind of sway you one way or another. I like what I like.
Fortunately for me, she likes me.
Yeah. All right.
I think we said what we want to say.
Yeah.
We drank what we wanted to drink.
Yep. Thank you for watching Merry Married Meeples.
Madness.
Yes. And if you like what you saw, or if you didn't like it and you want to let us know.
Either way, do it pleasantly.
Yes, please.
Or I can be unpleasant.
Let us know in the comments down below. And make sure to click and subscribe. And
Bye.
Bye.